Welcome or welcome back to Travel Week webinars. My name is Megan Griffith and I'm the Marketing and Production Specialist with Travel Week. Today we have a very exciting webinar for you all, talking about NASA Kennedy Space Center and their current and upcoming cutting edge innovations. Before I introduce our panelists for today, I'm just going to touch on a couple of housekeeping items. Firstly, if you're tuning in and want to say hello where you're coming from, make sure to comment in the chat box function for that. If you have any questions, which we will address at the end of the webinar, make sure to put them in the question and answer box below. And for all of you agents who stay until the end of the webinar, we have a very cool prize for you. We're giving away 3 sets of admission to NASA Kennedy Space Center with meals included. So make sure to stay to the end to be entered for that. Now I'm going to get started with introducing our speaker today, tuning in from a very exciting location, Frank Decosta, Marketing Manager at NASA. Hi, Frank, how are you?
Hello, how are you guys doing today?
Very good, very excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. Welcome to Kennedy Space Center. May I say NASA Kennedy Space Center. And right now you guys must be like, what's going on? What is all that sound? We are actually, could you guys hear me clear?
Is everyone hearing? I'm hearing just fine, but maybe if people want to comment if they're hearing okay.
Gotcha. Just I feel a little frozen. But I want to welcome everybody that's here today. It's such a great group here. And we're ready to rock and roll. I am here at this amazing place called Saturn 5. It's one of our complex. Kennedy Space Center is pretty big. This is an active spaceport, and you get to be a part of what NASA is doing on a daily basis here. This is a working active spaceport where we have launch pretty much every other week. And right tomorrow, we do have a Spacex Transporter 5 going up to space to transport the satellite link program that they have. So I'm going to show you a little bit around so you can see that this is actually right now. There's a bunch of people right down here doing a tour. And you could hear that guy speaking. He's actually a tour guide who is talking about the lunar module. This whole complex here, this is actually a rocket. This white little thing right here is actually a rocket. It's Saturn 5. And we are actually on the 2nd floor. It's actually limited up here. This is where the NASA executives actually came and made decisions during the Apollo missions, from Apollo 1 all the way to Apollo 17. Those are the missions that occur right here in this building. So this building have a lot of history. A lot of people who love the Apollo mission, the beginnings of NASA, this is where history was made up. So we're gonna go in to the office now so we don't have enough, so you could hear me a little bit better. And we'll come out here in just a few minutes. So now I'm in the boardroom. This boardroom right here was exactly the boardroom where all the executives and the delegation of NASA came here and made several decisions, including a lot of the shuttle mission decisions was made over here. They usually sit here and they made a lot of their decisions. Should we scrub? Should we go? What's gonna happen? And all that good stuff. So I'm hoping the internet here, it's getting a little bit better. Yeah, this is the boardroom of the delegation. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys, show you guys a little bit about what it's all about. What is NASA Kennedy Space Center all about? A lot of people come here and they kind of get lost on what this is really. Is this a museum? Is this an interactive museum? Is this a theme park? What is it? Again, I'm gonna repeat because I repeat this a million times. This is an active spaceport. Let's think of an airport, but for space. So that's what exactly this is. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys really quick here. Just give me a second. And we could get an idea overall of what this really is. Why it's not showing? Obviously, we love Zoom, don't we? We can't live without it. Trying to share. I'm typically working on 2 screens, but today I'm working in 1. So let me see if I could just share this. Yeah, it's not going to share. Okay. And here we go. We got it. So this is pretty much what we've been wanting to promote this time around. This is a quick little video that you guys could watch.
Look at us, heads down, constantly searching for the next big thing. There's a place where the next big thing is actually happening right above you. Come to where the most amazing things on Earth, Space Center Visitor Complex.
Look Up is a campaign that we are actually started heading it out toward the end of 2021. We wanted to focus on, let's stop putting our head down and let's put our head up and let's see what's really happening. With everything that's happening between Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson, all creating this amazing concept of space tourism and what's happening in space. So we wanted to bring out this campaign for us to stop looking at our gadgets and our iPhones and iPads, and let's look up and see what's happening marvelously in space. So that's going to be our campaign. One of the things that we're focusing a lot right now is the Continue the Journey Safely, is where we continue with the health and safety measure. We will keep this going until we really know we are safe. Being that we are a federal government agency and we work for the federal government, we work hand in hand with the CDC, and we have to submit to everything that the CDC requires and do. So our safety will be trust in space, will continue, and it's gonna be something that we're not gonna stop it at any time. But one of the things that we do is that we did change it to make you more comfortable. Like face covering is not really a requirement, but is if you would like to be part of it, or if you want to. Physical distance, we will still require you to have a little physical difference. We still have the cues and everything that will make you comfortable on a physical distance. Sanitization, we're gonna continue, and cashless transaction. And that's just gonna help you guys. So the moment you walk into our visitor complex, which is the opening area where visitors and we call it the civilians, right? Because we are federal government, so we call it the civilians, will be able to come in through this gate where we call it Let's Explore. This is where you guys could come up to get checked in and then everything else, which that area, it's right over here, right before you come into the island. This entire island you see here in this image, that's the Merritt Island. That is Kennedy Space Center. That is the federal government land. It doesn't belong to Florida. It belongs to the federal government, where now he have full access to this land. And that's how it is crucial that when you guys come into the Merritt Island, you go to the visitor complex to get screened and to get, so you guys can come into the island. And then from there is where you do the tour and you see. So you could see that this is a huge, a massive, just this little line right here, it's an airport runway where the Shuttle Experience used to land it there. Atlantis, Columbians, Andover, and the Challenger, they all landed here when they came back from space. And then we have the visitor assembling building. This is where we assemble all of our rockets. And then we have all the port, the launch port, all by the beach. This is a private beach. Nobody swims here. Nobody is ever here. So just to get an idea how big and massive this is. Obviously, NASA Kennedy Space Center was built in the 1950s, where President Johnson renamed it to Kennedy Space Center because Kennedy was the one who inspired man to go in the moon. With the speech he did, it's, you know, it's the hard speech that he did. Let's go ahead and see a quick little video so you can understand how it works. There's no sound in these videos because I get to narrate it. So this is our meatball where you get to meet our spaceman And then this is where you walk right through our rocket garden. Our rocket garden will tell you everything about the rockets from the Gemini to the Apollo, right into the heroes and legend, where you get to see all the heroes. You get to encounter an astronaut right in our premises on a daily basis. We have astronaut of the day, and you get to see astronauts just working. Obviously, the Milky Way ice cream shop, you can't go wrong with that, because that is an important thing. Then we have the Shuttle Launch Experience. It's actually an attraction that you get to feel exactly that pressure, that moment where the shuttle gets launched. And of course, you get to see the Atlantis shuttle launch retire right here in its home. It was 26 missions that it took off from this location, and now it gets retired here. And the kids get to enjoy, walk around, get to see the spaceman, get to ask questions. This is where you get to the tour bus, where you get to go beyond the NASA's gate and tour the place where I am right now at the Apollo Mission 5. You get to see the assembling building, where we have assembling from the Gemini, the Apollo. This is our Saturn V rocket, where it went to the moon. It took Neil Armstrong to the moon. And this is exactly the location where I just showed you guys, where you get to experience and see all the original artifacts that was built, but really never was launched, because it was built for training purpose. So a lot of the artifacts you guys see here, they were all for training purpose. Neil Armstrong, Buzz, Alan Shepard, they all trained out of this facility that I'm sitting on. And so that's why when I say it was a history made of, it's true history. And obviously our moon rock. We took a little piece of the moon and we brought it back. And you could step by step the Neil Armstrong when he walked on the moon. So this is our rocket garden, as we talked about, the heroes of legend, where we dedicate and we honor all the heroes, astronauts that have gone several missions to space, either to build the ISS space station or just the first 7 astronauts that started with this mission of going to space. We get to watch a movie, a 460-degree movie at a dome, to understand how the travel is. Then you get to, again, get on a bus and do the Kennedy Space Center bus tour, where you get to come into the history was made of. Right after that, here is where the tour bus will take you. You arrive at the Kennedy Center complex. The bus will simply just bring you to the second complex of our vision. At the same time, you get to see the assembling building and other things that happen. Again, this is an active port, and there is people working day in, day in, and day out in this area. Here's just a little quick video for you guys. Talk about Apollo Saturn Center.
But why, some say,
and here is Kennedy Space Center.
Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
When President John F. Kennedy made this speech in 1962, he set in motion an era of discovery that would change humankind forever. 7 years after he spoke these ambitious words, the world watched as Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first people to walk on the moon. The achievements of the men and women who worked on the space program in these early decades of NASA helps propel the technology we use every day. NASA and the thriving private space industry at Kennedy Space Center today are the living legacy of their story. As we arrive at the Apollo Saturn V Center to learn more about that historic era, get ready to step back into a time when NASA had everything to prove to a nation focused on one goal: to be the first country to land a person on the moon.
Please check around your seat to make sure you have all of your belongings before departing the bus. Wait at the metal doors to enter the Apollo Saturn V Center. A new show will begin every 10 minutes. Stay and explore as long as you like, and simply exit through the Right Stuff gift shop to board a bus back to the visitor complex. About a 15-minute ride with buses departing frequently. So
it's pretty much just a little teaser of how we let you guys know a little bit. So this is where you arrive after you get on that bus. Here at the Apollo Saturn's 5 Center, where you get to view this amazing building. This building right here is where the mission control was when we first launched Gemini and Saturn V rocket. Apollo 11 was from right this building with our fire room. And this is where a lot of the things happen. You get to view it yourself. You get to see with your own eyes how the Apollo 8 and the fire room worked that day on December 8th. You get to view the rocket 5, which close as you can, and you can see the massive of how big this rocket is. And you get to really understand that this entire massive of rocket was just to send 3 astronauts to orbit and to go to the moon. Right after that, you get several artifacts that you could touch and see. One of the things that's my favorite here at Apollo 5 is that it's the artifact of Apollo 13. I don't know if you guys have seen Apollo 13. I've seen it 100 times with Tom Hanks, where we actually have the capsule here where they stay 2 weeks problem solving. Their mission was to go to the moon, but they did not arrive at the moon. They got stuck because of a problem. They solved the issue and they came back to Earth alive. And that, to me, seeing that artifacts is really amazing. And then we have the moon garden, where we actually took seeds to the moon and we brought it back and we plant them right here, and we dedicated to all the Apollo mission when we retired the Apollo mission. And then we have a lot of other great things, such as the crawler and some of the information here. Watch this video.
Today, this part of the coastline, proudly known as the Space Coast, is the epicenter of the aerospace industry, employing over 100,000 people in Florida. What was once a rural farming community just 60 years ago is now a multi-user spaceport shared by the United States government and private industry. You'll get to see that private industry at work throughout the tour.
So why did NASA choose this section of the Florida coastline to base its launch facility? It's not just because astronauts like the beach. The warmer weather provides opportunities for launches to occur year-round. Most importantly, the safest place to launch a rocket is over the ocean, away from populated areas. There's actually a scientific purpose for launching from here, because we get a speed boost from the Earth's rotation. Imagine yourself riding a carousel. The further you are from the center, the faster you're traveling around the circle. Florida is closer to the Earth's equator, so launching from Florida is like riding closer to the outer edge of the carousel. We harness the extra speed from Earth spinning on its axis to help slingshot rockets into space. When NASA was created, the land previously occupied by the United States Army, Navy, and Air Force became the Launch Operations Center, or LOC, and was put under NASA's supervision. In 1963, President Lyndon B. Johnson called for the renaming of the LOC to honor the late President John F. Kennedy, who had challenged the nation to landing a man on the moon. To this day, it is still referred to as the John F. Kennedy Space Center, or KSC.
So there you have it. It's a little history of why we are called Kennedy Space Center. And then after the time has passed, after 12 years after the Apollo mission, the Shuttle Experience came. So the Space Shuttle program came out in 1981. And here it is. We just retired not too long ago, 2011, we retired the Space Shuttle program, and we gave a home to the Atlantis shuttle right here at the Kennedy Space Center, where you get to stand nose to nose, just like no other spaceship. And when you see that this is the spaceship that went off 26 times to space, that is amazing to understand how we build the ISS space station, which is active today. We have 6 astronauts there today working on research and getting ready. And this is all prior to anything else that we have done. And inside the space Atlantis exhibited, you get to see the Hubble Space Telescope Theater that actually helped us understand weather patterns. You get to be part of an astronaut training simulator. You get to remember forever the challenge. I don't know if you guys remember the teacher that was so excited to go up to space, and as the Challenger was going up within minutes, it blew up right here in Kennedy Space Center. The ISS trumping technology, where kids get to really understand how the space station ISS work and how small it is, and how there's 6 astronauts right there this second doing research and creating new innovation for us to be prepared for any asteroid or anything that is going to protect our Earth. And then you get to do the shuttle launch experience, which astronauts help build. They to feel and understand that booster when you go up to space. It's a really experience. Kids love it. It's an attraction itself. And then we have something called Chat with an Astronaut, where you get, this is an enhanced experience, where you get an intimate sitting with an astronaut and you get to ask him tons of questions. He gets to tell you his mission, how it went, what problem solving he did, how was his ingenuity, and how did he get to go to space. Well, his eyes we will never be able to see what his eyes saw. So really intimate, and there's food involved, and it's surrounded by table. It's a family style. It's one of the greatest experiences we have here. Oops, sorry about that. And then you get to have an astronaut encounter. This is more of a Peter style. A lot of people get to join, and he just got to tell you about the mission. He doesn't get that intimidated to ask you questions. You ask him question, he answer. It's just a man up on stage. It's complimentary. It's part of the admission. And then you got your Comet Quest for little kids. It's a live action game or NASA mission. It's more of like a discovery that your kids have to do. It's mainly geared for kids. You have the Mars Rover Vehicle Navigator. This is the new Mars Vehicle Rover that is right here for you to view and for you to get to take a photo op and to get to see how awesome it is, the Mars Rover that they're working on to go to Mars here soon. Yet we also have educational group program. I think I went too fast. We have an education group program where you can actually do an ATX, an astronaut training experience, and a private tour. This will allow you to have more intimacy and understand the Space Coast and the spaceport together. The astronaut training is a whole facility that we have here that you get to do 4 modules and understand. We also have an IMAX theater. We have 2 movies. One is Astronaut Hunter, and the other one is Journey to Space, where you also get to be, it's about 40 minutes movie. You get to actually rest in the air condition sometimes, going to a movie and just sit there. Is in a IMAX theater, so it's really unique experience. Mission to Start a Brief, another division where you get to discover what's happening with NASA now. Everything that NASA is doing, from multimedia presentation to learn more about NASA's commercial partner. And that includes SpaceX, ULA, that we're gonna talk here in a few moments, and Boeing. Plan Play, a very cute little area for kids, parents who are tired, and the kids are like, I'm tired. It's a great place to go in there, air conditioned, 3 floors of just burn energy for your kids. It's a full immersive multi-storytelling play experience. It's designed for the young generation from 2 to 12. It's a great place, and there's a secret. You actually get to sit, and there's a bar in there, and you get to drink wine and beer while you watch your kids play. Don't tell people I told you that, but it's actually a great location. So exactly from here, you can see how it is. Journey to Mars, great experience. It's another area of exhibiting where the Journey to Mars, you get fascinated by the possibility of exploring the red planet. And this is where you're gonna learn a lot about Elon Musk. What is his planning? What is his vision? What is he trying to do in Mars? And there's a lot of awesome things to do in there. And then we have the Space Mirror Memorial, where every time an astronaut goes to heaven, we want to make sure that we give him a memorial foundation and let him know that his mission was never forgotten. And then our Step Power Lunch. This is what the kids enjoy. Every time you step into these little blocks, you give power for us to launch a rocket. So here is actually a video of a bunch of fun people stepping in those rockets, and then the rockets get to be, and then you get to power it up, and then it makes this amazing noise, lots of smokes come out, and people get to see, because of the electrical power touch of the feet, they get to now boost a rocket themselves. It's pretty cool and interesting. It's right there in our shuttle center. Now, space shuttle launch. We have a space shuttle launch every time, a lunch viewing every time there's a launch here. So this is our area of a viewing area. We have the Banana Creek launch viewing area, the Atlantis North launch viewing area, and now the Gadget of the observation viewing area. Another one we just started. You soon will see more about it, or you hear more about it. It's a great place. It's a tower that you actually get to go up top and see it. And then I actually am going to stop this video here, stop the presentation for a second, and ping myself, because I want you guys, oh, I could ping myself. I can't. No, I think I can. Because I want you guys to see exactly, I am in the 3rd floor of this amazing building here, our boardroom. And this is exactly where you get to view. I am now at a viewing lunch area. As you can see this direction, this is all ports, all lunch ports. And that one right there that you see, straight one, the black one, I wish I could zoom in for you guys. That is the SpaceX launch port. And there is actually a rocket there right now. And that rocket is ready to launch tomorrow at exactly 2:45 p.m. tomorrow. If you guys are in Canada, so you won't be able to look up and see the rocket. But if you watch in any media outlet, there will be tons of media covering that rocket because it's a very important rocket. So that area right there is the SpaceX launch port. So people actually get to come up here, and you actually get to come up here whenever you buy admission, and whenever you buy a launch admission, you actually get to be a part of the rockets yourselves. So we're gonna almost finish it up, almost done here. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again, since I stepped out of it. All right, so here we were at the space rocket launch. So you can see it's a great view. It's exactly what you're seeing on that screen. And now with another video for you guys. 3, 2, 1. This one's a little longer.
Artemis 1 will lift off from Launch Pad 39B at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida with 8.8 million pounds of thrust provided by the most powerful rocket in the world, our Space Launch System rocket, or SLS. The uncrewed flight will be the first integrated test of SLS, our new Orion spacecraft, and exploration ground systems at Kennedy. Artemis 1 will send Orion beyond the moon, 280,000 miles from Earth, farther than any human spacecraft has ever flown.
This is not NASA doing this. This is the United States of America doing this program, the Artemis program. And there are companies all across our country that have a part in it. So there is kind of this wave of excitement being generated just by saying, we're going back to the moon.
After the upper stage of the rocket separates from Orion, the upper stage will deploy small satellites over several days to perform science experiments and technology demonstrations. Orion will make its multi-day outbound trip to the moon, propelled by a service module provided by the European Space Agency. Engineers will test Orion's systems on the way to the moon. Then, Orion will fly about 60 miles above the lunar surface, using the moon's gravity and engines on the service module to enter a lunar orbit. After about a month and a total distance of over 1 million miles, Orion will return home, faster and hotter than any spacecraft has before. A primary goal of Artemis 1, ensure Orion safely returns to Earth before we fly with humans. When we do, we'll build our capability for sustainable lunar exploration, preparing us for missions farther into the solar system.
Initially, what we'd like to do is start establishing a presence on the moon. So we're going to establish going back there on a regular basis, and then we'll end up setting up gateway, and we would launch to the gateway, and from gateway land on the surface of the moon.
We are there for weeks, months on end, and there we're going to be able to test out all the hardware, the habitats, and the hatches, the suits, and the rovers that'll allow us to prove out those technologies. The moon will lead the way to Mars, and we should be there within the next couple of decades.
So the Artemis program, our next big program, we are going back to the moon from 1966 to 72, 2011, when we retired the new era of space launches, we decided we want to go back from the beginning, and we are going back to the moon. And this time around, the awesome part about it is that it's going to be two women who's going to be walking in the moon. It's not going to be a man. It's not going to be Neil Armstrong saying one small step to mankind. It's actually going to be, two amazing women who'll be walking in the moon this time around. And the Artemis program, if you guys don't know, Apollo, the Greek terminology, Artemis is the sister of Apollo. So it's the sister of Apollo who's going back to the moon after 60 years. And this is an amazing, amazing excitement that's happening here at the Kennedy Space Center complex, because we all excited to see this again. As you can see, we first gonna launch the LSS rocket, which is gonna go on an autopilot to make sure that everything is perfect. And then next year, we should be launching this astronauts. And it's a humankind. It's amazing. Not only the fact that it's a woman, it's gonna be an African-American woman, a woman of color, who's going to make that history, the history of it. Just remember, in a few years in 70 years from now, we're gonna remember the first woman who walked on the moon, or perhaps we'll all be walking in the moon at that time. So with that in mind, we are very excited here at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, because Gateway, the Deep Space Launch Complex, it's about to open in just a couple of weeks, June 16. Actually, sorry, June 15. They changed to one day earlier. We're going to be launching this new baby. Let me go ahead. It's a brand new building in our complex. At the moment you go into the Explore Gateway area, and you go over the turnstile, you see this amazing building. Very unique build, very beautiful color. The color changes with the sun going up and down. And this is exactly how the building looks like. But let's go ahead and see how inside looks like. All right, I am so excited about Gateway. It's gonna have this amazing ride called Spaceport KSC. We are actually an active spaceport. Why not build an attraction that allow you guys to choose a flight plan from the Red Planet or to the Uncharted Worlds or to the Cosmic Wonders? So you could come here at Kennedy Space Center and decide that you wanna also travel. Not only it is a launch pad that is in reality traveling, but you want to also travel with us. So you get to choose where do you want to go and how do you want to transport yourself and launch yourself from our spaceport, Kennedy Space Center. You could go to the Red Planet, which is Mars. You could go to the Uncharted Worlds that you could see tons of different universe, or you could just go to the Cosmic Wonders and understand how the cosmic is. So this is exciting because it's a brand new attraction that it's not even, nobody have seen it yet. So it's brand new. It's about to reveal to the public right here in June 15. So just a little bit about us, right? We talked about all the stuff, but here's our admission ticketing, and here's what we have to offer. Our adults cost $57. Our kids go to $47. We do have also pretty much a 2-day admission, and then we have an annual pass, and then we have all this stuff just like everybody else. But the enhancement of your experience is the add-on. The add-on is the tours. The add-on is the chat with an astronaut, the ATX, and then obviously we do rent. If you want to understand, I'm not a space guy. I don't understand really about NASA. You could rent an iPad that will guide you through the entire and be your guide in 25 different languages, where you get to be, and you get somebody there with you all the time. Or you could just get a VIP guide experience, a guiding tour, a person who will talk to you as a human being. You don't have to hear it on a gadget. So that's pretty much, we also have an app. It's not your typical Disney experience app, but it's a cool little app that allows you to interact with the map, order food, and be able to do a lot of things with the app. And I think we are done. I'm gonna go ahead and open my screen here. I'm gonna ping myself. Megan, are you there?
Yep, I'm right here. Hi, thank you so much for that amazing presentation. It's so interactive. It was so exciting to see all the experiences you guys have over there. Aiden, just a reminder, if you have any questions, just to pop them in the chat. But do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions I also have, Frank?
Not at all, not at all. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm a little bit dark, but I could go into a lighter light. But go ahead, go for it.
All right, so one question we have is, how frequent are the launch viewings? I know you said there's one happening tomorrow at 2 p.m. When someone visits, are they guaranteed to see one? Should they plan that ahead just to find out when to go?
So it's good to plan ahead, but keep in mind that launches do scrubs. Scrub means that they could cancel at any time due to a technical problem, a weather issue, anything could happen. So don't be disappointed if you're here and eventually you get a scrub. So far, we are very pleased with Spacex because they don't scrub as much. They want to get up there and they'll do everything they can. Now, the launches do happen in sometimes days apart. Like we just had one last Thursday and now this one today. So it does happen every week. We do have in our website the calendars of launch, the main launch, such as LSS, the Ariane, the SpaceX, the ULAs, and the Starlinks. But again, keep in mind that it could scrub. So if you have a ticket with a launch, and if the launch scrubs, typically they scrub for the next day, okay? Or they'll give you a window, like let's say tomorrow launch is at 2:45. If anything happened, mechanically, they would extend it to an hour to 2 hours later. But if it's a weather issue or if the spaceport and the Air Force tells them that it's a no-go, they'll try it tomorrow again.
That makes sense, yeah. Another question we have is, how long is the bus tour, and do you know the time of the last bus tour of the day?
Yes, of course. So the bus tour takes 15 minutes to get from the visitor complex to here where I am at Saturn 5. It takes that 15 minutes. So you're already counting that 15 minutes you're inside of a bus, right? And then you could stay here all day if you want, or it would probably take you about 45 to an hour to see all the exhibit here. The big, beautiful rocket, the outside ports, launching ports, because you could see all of them from here. And then, we have a movie theater here, which is the Luna Theater, which is a replica of how the lunar module landed on the moon, and all those things. So it's taking about an hour for you to do everything here. We also have a restaurant here called Moonwalk, which you might want to have lunch here depending on the time. So again, it might take 1 hour, 30 minutes, it might take 45 minutes, and then it takes that 15 minutes of traveling time, going and coming back.
Okay, great. Another question is, do you just drive by the assembly building, or are you able to go into that?
At this time, we are driving by due to still COVID restriction, but eventually, in the near future, there will be an announcement that we'll be able to, again, be able to stop by and take pictures. But at this time, it's from the visitor complex to Saturn V directly.
Okay. Someone is asking, is it open for international visitors currently?
Oh, yeah. So just because we are in a federal government land, we love international business. We love Canadians. We want you guys here because you love NASA. Don't forget the shuttle launch program have a huge NASA logo on it. Have a huge Canada logo on it because you guys were a big part of that program. And we know how much you guys love NASA. So it's open for international.
Great. I guess one question I want to just make sure I iterate is if anyone has any additional questions. I know you said you guys currently have an app. Maybe just I mentioned to social media, the website again, just so that the agents have that in their minds.
Right. So if any question you guys have, we actually have a blog in our website that pretty much answers questions for you. And the best place for you to get your launch schedule, the viewing that's available for that particular day that you might want to come, because there are different type of launches. And there's launches that the viewing might change because it might be a bigger rocket, so there's dangerous to be around it, or it might be a smaller rocket like the Falcon 9, which is about to launch tomorrow, which you could come as close as you are here at Saturn V. So in our website, KennedySpaceCenter.com, very simple, KennedySpaceCenter.com, you have the ability to see and ask any question you like.
Okay, that's perfect. I don't see any questions left, so I think that'll just wrap us up for today. But I would like to ask you, Frank, if you could give some words of inspiration and excitement to get the agents from Canada booking their clients over to you guys.
Definitely. You know, I just came back from Canada not too long ago. I was in Montreal and Toronto, and you know, I know how much Canadians love Canada Space Center, and I know how much Canada Space Center has been lacking of marketing over there. And Canada is my main focus right now, and I want to push this product. And the inspiration is that this is history. This is something amazing that is going to be exploring. Elon Musk, I mean, he lived in Canada. That's how in order for him to come to the United States, he lived in Canada for a long time. So if you ever read about him, his story started out in South Africa, but a lot of his history was in Canada. And we brothers and sisters, but I see it. And I know you guys love Florida. And why not? Come spend a day here. Come learn some history. And again, the shuttle program have such a piece of history for the Canadians. If it wasn't for the Canadians, we wouldn't be able to build the ISS station. So I know together, it's inspiring to know that we both have a piece of history right here on the NASA Kennedy Space Center, piece of land here.
That's amazing. So thank you so much, Frank, for that amazing presentation. Agents, stay tuned. We also have this video recorded on our YouTube page and our Learning Center. So stay tuned to watch some more. We'll be reaching out to the prize winners, and thank you all for attending today. Thanks again, Frank. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Take care. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.